Today's episode of Running It Back is up and brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Not my sponsor, but my preferred way to fly. Why? Because I have their app and that's about it. I have their app. Hey, if you like vinyl seats and small bags of peanuts, that's your method. That's your airline. It'll get you to where you want to go, and that's about it. But hey, don't complain. Southwest does a job. Today on the show, E.L. Smith joins me again. We always have a good talk when E.L.'s on. And we're going to dive into TV. TV from where? 2003. What happened in 2003? The Chappelle Show. I've been circling around this topic for a while, thinking, how should I approach a Running It Back on the Chappelle Show? And I decided we're going to pick a few favorite sketches and dive into it. See if we can find anything out from researching. See if we can find out reactions we both had. And also just sort of see how the episode hit us. That's on the show today. And don't forget, my other show on my YouTube channel is the Sunday Night Talk with me and Omar Carmona, breaking down all things NFL on a Sunday night. And we'll let you know right now, we go off topic quite often. But that's what the show is made for. Right now, the Chappelle Show. What are we running it back on, though? Season 1, Episode 12, Trading Spouses. Remember it? You will after this. Me and E.L. Smith. Hey, E.L., who the hell is Renee Zellweger? All right, we are here back on another Running It Back. E.L. Smith, comedian friend, is back joining me. How are you, man?
What's going on, man? I am doing okay. I'm doing like most Americans.
Really? Okay.
No, I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. You know,
people are saying like we need to mandate this and we need to mandate that. And it's all well and good, but I say we institute a dude maintain policy. Be like, man, everything's crazy. Dude maintain. Just dude maintain. That's our new policy.
You know, I'm watching all Walking Dead episodes and I'm basing everything off that. So I'm gonna build me a little community. I'm gonna start bartering toilet paper and stuff like that. I'm just gonna create a whole different system.
So
Evelina Land or something. I don't know. EL Land.
EL Land. So much is to be said about our mental state and what we're watching on Netflix and Hulu and stuff.
Yeah.
Some people are like, dude, just be positive. It'll be all right. We'll make it through the holidays. Good things are coming. Some people are like, it's going to burn down on Thursday.
I know.
It just all depends on what you're watching.
That's true. That is so true. Like, yeah, because you could tell then people, like, I think I got a group text from somebody in my family tomorrow. It was during the election, but I won't talk about the election. But they was like, don't go outside election day. Don't go outside Tuesday. Stop, fill your gas tank up. Take all your money out. She was serious too. And I'm like, are you what? Like,
yeah. I've gotten a few of those texts too.
Like, I don't think it's that serious. Text. Fill my gas tank up, really? Like, okay. What do you think is gonna happen? Like Dawn, like people just rushing, it's gonna drop down from the sky on Tuesday.
Right. Like gotta have a full tank of gas. That's that we've all come across the scary text at some point in the last to it all. It's so weird.
That's true. I don't know. That's why I like being a comedian, because sometimes I get to sit back and just laugh at people sometimes. It's funny just the way people react and do things and just fill my gas tank up. If I'm driving a Prius with a full tank of gas, it really not going to matter if like the apocalypse happened. I have the least safest car. You know what I'm saying? Like I need like a Hummer or something. Like
yeah,
I get overtaken in a Prius
with some exterior gas tanks. Yeah. This is the only way we're gonna make it.
Oh man.
Oh my god. Well, running it back today, this episode, It's gonna be pretty cool. I've been circling how to do one of these for a while.
Okay.
We got Chappelle Show recently went on Netflix in its entirety. So I'm like, oh, I gotta dive back into this. This is a reliving of my early 20s, you know? And then I'm watching it all, and it's so funny. We were talking about this earlier. Chappelle Show is no longer on Netflix. He requested it pulled, and it's no longer on Netflix. What was it on there for a week and a half?
Very like I don't even know. It wasn't even a month, dude. It wasn't. It was that's crazy because it gave me like you were saying earlier, deja vu. I was like, it wasn't on Hulu because I don't even have Hulu. So I saw it somewhere. Like where was it? So.
Right. Yeah, like I watched the episode that we're going to talk about, and I said, all right, well, let me watch it a couple more times. And then I can't find it on Netflix, and a quick Google search, and then I find out that Dave Chappelle requested it be pulled from Netflix, and it's no longer on there. For the reason I'm not 100% sure why, but back to YouTube. It's back to YouTube clips now.
I know. That's the type of success, though, I want when I can just make a couple of phone calls and be like, just pull my shit. I don't want it seen by anyone. That's
the ultimate power. That's the ultimate power. It's not firing people. It's not hiring people. It's not money. It's being able to get your stuff pulled off the internet.
Yes. I want to be a big enough star to be an asshole. That's my I have to be nice to everybody right now.
You gotta go through the be nice to everybody mode first.
One day
you gotta work your way to the top if you want to be an asshole.
I know. One day I just want to be that pinnacle that like he canceled New Year's. Really?
That's right. Well, we're gonna do a deep dive on one of the episodes from Chappelle Show that we both like and we both found worthy of diving into. Specifically, we're gonna do the Trading Spouses classic Chappelle Show episode. This is a great episode. This might be my marquee Chappelle Show episode.
It is a good episode. It's definitely a good episode. He has some really funny episodes that everybody knows, but that's definitely one of the good ones too as well.
Yeah, I was between a few episodes to review, and I might just do more Chappelle Show episode reviews. But it was between this one, Trading Spouses, The Player Haters Ball, was another favorite. The Prince one, of course.
Oh yeah, Princess.
Yeah, and I think the racial draft were some funny ones.
That was funny.
I like, okay, I'm gonna have to pick something. I'm gonna have to eliminate some of them. There's some just iconic episodes.
That's true. Yeah, it was a good episode.
I was doing some research. Let's start from the beginning. Some Chappelle Show research. Chappelle Show, created by Dave Chappelle and Neil Brennan, premiered January 22nd, 2003. It ran for 2 seasons and an abbreviated 3rd season. So not that long a run.
Oh, I thought it was longer. It was only 2 seasons.
2 seasons and an abbreviated 3rd, which was just unreleased sketches from the first.
I remember that.
So it didn't have that long a run, which I'm surprised by. I'm like, this was on everybody's mind, and yet it didn't even go that long on television, on Comedy Central. Notable characters: Tyrone Biggums, Silky Johnson, Negro Damas, Ashy Larry, and Robot Dancing Man. Do you remember Robot Dancing Man?
Yeah, I remember his eyes roll back in his head and you're like...
Yeah, Robot Dancing Man would just appear in a sketch whenever something would happen, and he would just do the robot dance and look into the sky, and he would have the huge Elmer Fudd hat on too. It was hilarious. I looked up Robot Dancing Man. Robot Dancing Man was set designer Carl Lake, and he just started doing it, and they just started incorporating them into scenes of the Chappelle Show sketches.
That's funny.
Chappelle, yeah, Robot Dancing Man.
Because it was so like outrageous and like, what you like? That doesn't even make any sense. That's why it was so funny.
Right. It made no sense. It was completely funny. He would just insert himself into like a scene, and it'd be Robot Dancing Man. And I will fully admit, Robot Dancing Man, that might have been my dance move at a couple parties.
Really?
Those college movies. I might have just sauntered in to a dance circle and done Robot Dancing Man.
It was funny because it was like out of nowhere, but then it was almost like imitating like life. Can you ever like you be at a place like you pull up at a gas station and you'll see that crazy guy talking to himself? Like everybody else is normal, but you got that one crazy person doing something crazy. It's like, oh yeah, Dave Chappelle is smart because that happens in life. You always got a crazy person
Yeah,
amongst us.
you hit it. Yeah, you hit it. There were so many things from the show that got inserted into everyday vocabulary,
Yeah, yeah,
everyday life. The Robot Dancing Man, lines from the show, things like that were just on everybody's mind, and you could say it at a bar, at a party, and then everybody knew what you were talking about.
yeah, that's true.
Of all the lines, too, I think I think cocaine is a hell of a drug. It's probably been uttered 10 million times by now.
That was
That was one that got beat into the ground very, very early, yet was still funny every time I heard it.
that's true. I heard a story about Dave Chappelle that he wouldn't do after Chappelle show really blew up. He would go to comedy clubs and he would stop doing them because people would yell out stuff from Chappelle show, and it
I read that too.
wouldn't let
And
him do
it's
his
an
stuff.
interesting arc that we can talk about Dave Chappelle, his arc from pre Chappelle,
Mhm.
Chappelle show, Chappelle, and then post Dave Chappelle show. He's taken this trajectory that is kind of a one of one. It's all his own
Yeah,
as well. So, kind of like if we go another 20 years in the future, this is our, you could say, this is our Richard Pryor? Is this our Muhammad Ali? Is this our Kobe Bryant? It almost doesn't have a comparison
Mhm.
if you think about it, but his trajectory is really, really defined. Um,
It is.
Here's how the Chappelle Show got created. Chappelle watched a special on Playboy publisher Hugh Hefner, designed to resemble Hefner's Playboy parties. Musicians and comedians were interviewed and performed for Hef. Chappelle called Neil Brennan and they developed the idea. Shortly after, HBO passed on the Chappelle Show and it landed on in Comedy Central. So imagine a world where the Chappelle Show's on HBO.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't. I seen Dave Chappelle when he had the Mark Twain Award. I don't know if you've seen that special. Um,
No, I haven't.
it's really funny. They gave him the Mark Twain Award, so they have a bunch of comedians, and it was an award show. But Neil Brennan got up there and he told that story. He said, "Yeah, we created the Chappelle Show, and it was so funny what he said. He said we took it to HBO, but HBO was like, we already got one black guy with Chris Rock. We don't need another one." And he said that's how I got to Comedy Central because like we already got one. We're not gonna have two.
I wonder if the subscription model that HBO is versus the Comedy Central,
Mhm.
if this show is as popular or is it more popular? Because this was a perfect college kid show, which
No,
I was in college. And if you just had cable, you had it. I never had HBO. I don't know if I would have seen it.
you know what? That's true because HBO is it became one of those like channels that it was hard to get, especially being in college and stuff like that. I heard the Chris Rock show was funny, and I heard it was good. And I saw bits and pieces of it whenever I was at somebody's house, so saw
Me too.
HBO.
Me too.
But Dave Chappelle, I saw almost every episode, and that's because it was so much more attainable being on Comedy Central.
Yeah. Think of the popular HBO shows, Sex in the City, The
Yeah,
Sopranos. I knew of all of them. I
hmm
never watched them. I
me
never
too.
watched any of those shows. I never had HBO and I didn't ever had enough interest to get HBO. If Chappelle Show goes to HBO, I wonder if it has the impact. And then on the flip side, I wonder if they do more seasons because Chappelle famously leaves Comedy
Yeah,
Central because he feels they were stifling the show, his creativity. I wonder if HBO goes another route and they make more seasons. It's an interesting what if.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And then what if he did it for the whole 3 seasons and 4 seasons, and it just went downhill? So he just went out kind of like he did the James Dean thing. He just went out just where I was like going up, which is, I mean, a good thing to have under your belt because everybody will still talk about that show until this day. So
Mhm.
it was never a downtime for it. So I
What
think,
was your knowledge of Dave Chappelle before the Chappelle show?
oh man, Dave Chappelle, Def Jam, and HBO Def Jam. I had the
Yeah.
cassette. I saw him like, and it's funny. The first time I think I saw him was on Def Jam, and you know Def Jam is crazy because they'll boo you and like you really have to get all hood with it with him. So he came out. He had his hat on. His teeth was like a little bit bucked, and they almost tried to clown him by the way he looked. But then when he got into his jokes, they were like, "Oh my god, this dude is so funny." His jokes were like
Yeah.
funny. And I was like, I remember because I watch everybody on Def Jam, but it was like some people, you see them, you like, oh my gosh, this dude is funny. And that was like Dave Chappelle, Jamie Foxx, um,
Bernie Mac was another one that
Bernie
has
Mac,
a famous,
Bernie
famous
Mac,
Def Jam set.
and
Yeah.
Chris Tucker. They were like, who the hell is this? Like those like Bernie Mac, Dave Chappelle, and Chris Tucker. I know for a fact they invited them back. They were that funny. So
Chris Tucker's an interesting one who really has almost a Bo Jackson career,
yeah,
where Chris Tucker was white hot for a couple, I mean, maybe 5 or 6 years. And then he just sort of flames out. We don't see him anymore. He like he dislocates his hip like Bo Jackson. And we don't see him anymore.
I
People
know.
forget how much Chris Tucker impressions people would do at school.
I know he was good, man. But you know, it's the thing about it when you, I guess you're successful, and then you have that one, you got that pressure, and then you always gotta be growing as a comedian and just continue to be funny or at least continue to try to be funny. But some people want to do that, and some people just don't want to continue. I think. I think
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
20 million a film. I mean, he was living good. It's like, do I really need to do an hour or stand like you know what I'm saying? But the 15 or 10 minutes he was doing on Def Jam got him all that because there was really funny stuff. So
Yeah, in my high school, if you didn't know every line from the movie Friday,
yeah,
you couldn't communicate with people.
yeah,
It was
that too.
required reading was the movie Friday at my high school.
It was a funny movie. Like, and it's certain movies. It's funny you mentioned that certain movies that blow people up, and you see the movie, and that person made the movie. Like, I want to get that role or play that role. That's like Chris Tucker on Friday, Martin Lawrence in House Party, like Tiffany Haddish in Girl Trip, like that, and then Zach Africa.
Oh yeah, yeah. Galifianakis.
Yes, yeah. And that was him in Hangover, dude. Like you
Hangover.
see,
Yeah.
and then what's the girl's name from Bridesmaids? Um,
Oh yes, the Kristen Wiig.
no, Melissa McCarthy.
Okay. Yes. Uh huh.
Those roles and those movies like blew them up, and rightfully so because they made the movie funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll add one in there too because I was rewatching this one. Is Bad Boys. I rewatched Bad Boys,
Hmm.
and I put on Bad Boys, and I instantly go like, oh yeah, this is the Will Smith movie, and then I'm watching. It's like Martin Lawrence is the funniest thing in this movie. He's the one
Yep.
cracking the jokes. He's doing all the physical stuff. Well, I think Martin Lawrence steals this movie, and I think it's his movie. And then Will Smith blows up, of course, but I don't think that movie works without Martin Lawrence.
Nah, that movie does not work without Martin Lawrence. Yeah, Martin Lawrence is definitely funny in that movie. I think Bad Boys One was the best out of all three of them because it was like old Martin. Like, it's good to watch comedians when they're like hungry or they have to prove themselves, they have to do something and it has to work because those are like the funniest things you ever see and stuff like that. So, yeah.
My knowledge of Dave Chappelle was, I think the first time I researched him or knew who he was in The Nutty Professor, where
Oh, yeah, I remember that movie.
he plays the comedian, the insult comedian for a really short. He's in it very small amount of time,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the HBO special Killing Them Softly comes out. His stand up special, which I think is one of the best specials ever. I still
No, it
laugh
is.
my. And then I go, well, who's this guy? And then you go like, oh, that's the guy from Nutty Professor. I'm like, no way, that's him. It's hilarious. Let me run through Chappelle's pre-Chappelle Show IMDb credits. Robin Hood Men in Tights, 1993. The Nutty Professor, 1996. Con Air, classic, 1997. Half Baked, 1998. You've Got Mail, 1998. And then the comedy special Killing Them Softly, 2000. And then a couple years later, Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has this kind of career that's just sort of simmering this whole time. And then Chappelle Show, total blows up. This is him at his most Chappelle.
Yeah, it definitely blew up. But if you saw all those things that you mentioned beforehand, you kind of knew that guy was like gonna be just because it's so funny and so relatable for a lot of people, especially Killing Me Softly. If you saw that, it was like.
And then Half Baked too. I think he comes to a boil there, and we all sort of agree like, oh yeah, this guy can do no wrong in my eyes. That Half Baked is funny.
Half Baked is funny. Half Baked is a cult movie, but it's definitely funny. I bought it, so I know I liked it. But
a couple surprises for me rewatching Chappelle Show and researching it. Number one, I forgot that they have a live audience, but for the sketches, they would just put them up on a screen. So there's no laugh track. It's the audience reacting to the sketch on the screen.
Yeah.
That I forgot. That's an interesting way to present a sketch, because there's a few times in the scene that we watched today where the audience laughs over a couple jokes. And so you can't really hear what happens because the actors don't pause or anything, of course. And then I forgot about the musical acts in Chappelle Show. I forgot that he had music acts.
That's true. Yeah, the music acts was pretty cool too. Like looking at the younger Kanye West and all those things. But I like that concept because the skits were so funny. So the laughter was like almost like you're watching like a television, like what you were. But it was just, I don't know, it had a different take. And instead of just, I don't think it would have came off better if they was like in a small quarters and they did that sketch in like front of a live audience. I think it worked so much better when they're like out and about, or they're really at a place or a different place, and they just made it on the TV screen.
It's really funny too, because while they're watching the sketch and then something will happen and you'll hear the audience verbally say what they're thinking. There's a part in the Trading Spouses where the one guy holds up a magazine and it's called Mahogany. And you hear the audience go, mahogany. It's so funny. It's really, really just a visceral reaction. They're like, he's reading Mahogany. On the audio.
That's funny.
So that was a surprise. I forgot that's how they did that show.
Yeah, no, it was a good show. It was great writing. So, but I mean, when you got Dave Chappelle and Neil Brennan, like, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, man.
Well, the episode we're gonna review from season 1, episode 12, originally aired April 9th, 2003, Trading Spouses. I got to add something else to what surprised me. I didn't know Trading Spouses was a real show.
Oh, you didn't?
I thought they took it from Trading Houses and they made it Spouses. And then I looked it up and it was a real show on Fox. Yeah. I was like, it is? Oh my God, this is nuts.
Yeah, it was a real show, man. I think I saw 1 or 2 episodes, but I mean, Fox will always put out crazy shows to try to see like what people would. They always push the bar. I think like ABC, NBC, and all the rest of them are like, just regular TV shows, and Fox is almost like the devil, almost when it comes to Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire. Like, really?
I was gonna say, do you remember Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire?
Yeah, like what type of prostitution show pimp thing is this?
Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire? Oh, do you remember Joe Millionaire?
I don't remember I remember the show, but I don't remember exactly what it was about. Like he was pretending to be poor, but he was really rich.
Right. Joe Millionaire was this guy, and they told the ladies you want to marry a millionaire, and they all had to vie for him.
Mhm.
But the twist was he wasn't really a millionaire. He was like a construction worker. And he
Yeah.
had to tell him at the end. That was the twist to it. So yeah, Fox took some big swings
Yes. Yes.
at odd programming, and I think it paid off in a lot of times.
Yeah. But now looking back on it, we're like, yeah, they couldn't do this today. It's just
Yeah, I wonder what they could do today. That's a good point. There was one where wasn't there like a secret millionaire where the girl doesn't see the guy's face until
yes.
the wedding?
I remember something like that. Yeah. 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 This box was
Yeah.
like they always look for that one show. It's like, really? Like, can we do this?
And they did it.
And they did it.
They would say, "Can we do this?" And then they would do it.
They would do it. They would do it.
Well, here's the characters in Trading Spouses. There's really only two, both played by Dave Chappelle. There's Leonard Washington and Todd Jacobson. On the rewatch, what surprised you on the rewatch of this episode?
Dave Chappelle's, I guess Dave Chappelle's white face. First of all,
That's
I
true. He
wasn't.
plays the white character.
Yeah, it wasn't a good job, but but no, I could look at that and be like, 30 years from now, it's probably going to age pretty bad.
Yeah, he goes white face. He
Yes,
sort of powders, and then they puts the white wig on him.
yes, this probably
And we all go with it. We all just sort of like, all right, he's the white guy.
yeah, yeah. It was funny, but I was like, that's gonna age not good. Just the way things going now. Like I what's the Eminem album? Oh yeah, his second album, Eminem, the Marshall Mathers.
Uh,
It's like the F word like 22 times in the in the whole album. I'm like, yeah, that's probably not gonna age pretty well now. It's probably gonna be banned or something, like in a museum. Like,
well, the premise of the episode, you take the black family, the white family, and they switch husbands. The white dude goes to the black house, the black guy goes to the White House. Leonard Washington. Here's what I liked about the Leonard Washington character.
yeah,
Number one, he always had a cigarette in his mouth. He's eating dinner. He's got a cigarette out. He's in bed. He has a cigarette in his mouth. That was funny. And then also, what surprised me, I forgot the wigs, the bad wigs.
yeah.
They're so obviously wigs. They're still funny. Worked 100% for me.
That was funny. That was
I
funny.
also like the episode starts. They switch houses. And then the Todd Jacobson guy, the white guy, goes to the black house and he meets the little kid. And he says, "You can call me daddy if you want." And the kid says, "Can I call you Mr. D's? Why do you want to call me Mr. D's, little buddy? D's nuts." You hear that and you're like, okay, I know where this episode is going. I'm all in. Let's log in. That's the first joke of the episode.
I saw that. That was like, yeah, that was funny. They got the little kid to say that, but
Same thing. Yeah, the little kid saying it is perfect. And also at school, if you had a good D's nuts joke you could play on your friend, that would get you all the way to lunchtime at school. You could get your friend to say, "What's D's?" or "Who's D's?" And then you would say D's nuts. That went a long way in my school.
I'm sure. That's why it was a good Chappelle show was a good like show for like college kids, high school kids, because it was just that type of like humor, but it was also so funny and so smart too at the same time though.
It was kind of tackling a smart subject in a real silly sophomoric way, and
Yeah.
it meshed so perfectly. It was so good because if I was in college during Chappelle's show and you would hear the jokes and you would feel smart for sort of understanding them. Like I never grew up in the hood. I've never had race problems, but I hear all the race jokes and I'm like, yep, I get it. I know what he's
Yeah.
talking about. I don't know
You
what he's
have a
talking
reference.
about. Yeah, I get it. It's so
Yeah.
perfect. It was presented so well.
That is so true. It was because you have a reference, like so you see like the Dave Chappelle killing me softly when he has the jokes, when he's doing the guy's voice, he's like, apparently cops have been beating up Negroes like hotcakes, right? So you have that reference, and so you see
This
that
guy
reference.
broke in and
Yeah,
hung pictures of his family everywhere.
yeah.
That killed me. There was a point in time where I could have done that whole special verbatim.
Really, that was a good special.
You would watch it over and over again, And then you would just I just would know the whole thing. Same with Chappelle Show was rerun on Comedy Central so much that
Yeah.
you could just catch the episodes over and over again,
Yeah.
and you would know every little tidbit about it.
And see, I think that's why he's like one of the top comedians and like one of my favorites and a lot of people's favorites because all his stuff is based in then some sort of truth. You get what I'm saying? Like some comedians play a character and they're like this outrageous character and it might be funny, but it's not really truthful. Like the funniest jokes to me is like when stuff is like, yeah, that's kind of true. But so that's what makes it funny.
Or he'll say it, and I will think, I never even thought of that, and that's true. I believe it. I never even saw that angle, but that's 100% right. He
Yes.
hits it. He's Chappelle pulls off the perfect. He's genuinely himself. I
Yeah.
don't feel like he's playing a character. I don't think he's reaching for subjects. I think the thoughts are in his head and it comes out of his mouth.
It's like a conversation. Like I'm talking to like that's the comedians I like the best. The ones that you feel like you're at a party with your best friends and you guys are talking and you're like vibing and stuff like that. Not the one that's like going crazy and doing all. You really want to do that with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think he's really mastered the art of speaking publicly, and that happens to be, and in his creative, him being really, really funny and poignant.
yeah,
The public speaking, you feel like you're the only person in the room when he's
mm,
talking. And then when I was watching the Michael Jordan Last Dance, I never heard it put this way before, but someone was like, Michael Jordan was the best at body control. I was like, oh, you're right. I never heard it put like that. But Michael Jordan had crazy body control. And Chappelle has this crazy public speaking ability with
mm,
humor.
yes,
So
yes.
it's, yeah, everybody kind of gravitates to it. Here's the second joke that I loved in Trading Spouses.
Mm-hmm.
When Leonard Washington first goes to the white people's house, he says, hey, how you doing, Leonard Washington? He shuts the door behind him, and then he looks out the window to see if anybody saw him go in the house. This kills me. Kills me every time that he's like, all right, so this can't be right. I got to see if anybody's watching me.
That's funny on so many levels because like you thought like he was looking to see if somebody's watching him, and I thought like he was like looking like, all right, now I got this. Like I'm gonna take this lady up to the room. Like
Oh, really?
that's what I was thinking. Like, all right, I'm like, okay, I'm close is clear. And then when he puts his arms around her and just start kissing her, I'm like, yeah, that's
That's
why
right. Yeah, she tries to shake his hand, and he's like, come on now.
that's why he locked the door. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, that part killed me. It took me about 3 rewatches to see it though,
Yeah.
because I missed it the first time. I was like, "Oh, that's funny. I didn't see that before." So when I watched it the first time, I was like, he looks out the window like he shouldn't be there, and he's like looking out, like who's looking? Is anybody looking at me right now? That one made me laugh. That third time I saw it, of course, I love his wig, and then the way the episode is sort of broken down. The first part is getting acquainted. So they sort of meet each other. That's when the kid says D's nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when Leonard Washington goes in. And I think he gives the bag to I like how he gives his suitcase or his duffel bag to the kid
Yeah, yeah.
and just go put it away. just go put my shit away.
It's funny, dude. It's funny because people can relate to it. When I was my dad used to like treat me. He didn't give me the bat, but I was like the TV remote. Like I had to turn the TV, or he'll make me do something. And like just here, take this, or here, lift that. Like you're stronger than me. Wow, I'm 8. What am I doing? Like take this out to the car, and it's like 40 pounds. Like really?
Yeah, there's a sweet spot for children when they become old enough
Yeah,
that you can tell them to do your bidding, and then they become old enough to where they don't want to do it. You'd be like, hey, I have little nieces and nephews, and you can be like, hey, go to the fridge, go get me a beer. And they're
yeah,
like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. I got a project. But that window's only going to be open for so long because they're going to be like, screw you, old man.
yeah.
Get your own beer. But yeah, sometimes you can be like, tell them to do stuff, and they like to do it.
That's true. That's true. Or they get to the part where they know they don't like to do it, but they know they have to do it. So it's like,
Yeah, the second part of the episode is child rearing. And that's where like each parent has to discipline the kid. I think that's smart that they put that in there when they say, little T-Mart has to go on timeout. And then I forget what the white kid does. The white kid, he takes the white kid to the hood.
Yes. Yeah, that was funny. Just drops him off.
Just drops him off. That was the best. I love that. I love he drops the kid off at the hood. I love that Leonard Washington does have perspective where he's like, I got to show this kid how real life works, and I'm going to teach him a lesson. It's almost good. It's almost good parenting from Leonard Washington.
Yeah, see, that's part of the joke. Like that's that smart humor. Like he's really teaching them real life versus you do something bad and you just have to sit there and think about it for 15 minutes. It's like,
yeah,
which one are you going to benefit from? The like more like it's real life. Like this is dangerous. This is BS. So
yeah. How do you do it? How do you do it with your kid? What's the level for you? You have one kid, right?
Oh, I have three girls.
Oh, really? I didn't know
I
you had
have one when you met me last month. Not as planned. Not.
You acquired children?
This is the game I play. No, three girls, man. I mean, they're good. They're good kids, so it's not that hard. But 2020, you can't do. It's like every generation is less and less you can do as a parent with kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't do anything that used to get done to me when I was a kid to discipline kids. So it's almost like I'm gonna take your iPhone away. I'm gonna close the internet. That's how you get them. Like, no, just like going to bed hungry and stuff. They don't care about that. They don't.
I caught myself complaining about little kids or young people. I turned into old man Ramirez, and then I'm thinking like, hey, every generation complains about the younger generation.
That's true.
And then I think, well, what the hell is this young generation going to complain about one day? They have to complain about something.
I wonder about that too, dude. I wonder about that too, because like you see like all these old rappers like Snoop Dogg is be like, today's rap, this is not rap. I'm like, dude, you had gunshots and killing niggas, and this is supposed to be like worse than that? Like
it's gonna happen. They're gonna complain to their kids one day.
This is not real rap. You only got 3 gunshots. You're supposed to have 5. Like
it's gonna be 2040, and now we're gonna be parents, and they'll be like, yeah, sure, we had a app that would deliver us food to our doorstep any time of day, but we still had to walk to the door to get it.
Yeah. You kids today, you just lay in the bed and they come through you. They hit the Amazon button and your front door open up and they come and lay in the bed and hand it to you. We had to get up to the door and get it.
There were kids going to bed with only 4G internet service. You don't even
4G.
4G. And the kids will be like, wow, single digits. Next part of the episode is the in the bedroom episode, or in the bedroom section.
Yeah.
Where apparently in Trading Spouses, they get to bang each other's wives, apparently. I like how they just took liberty with that. And they're like, yeah, you will be banging each other's wives. And that was really funny. I like how Leonard Washington had no clue about women's grooming.
That was
like, what is that?
That was funny. That was funny. Yeah. It was funny on so many. They just skipped right into that part and let them do that to each other's wives. And the one guy was like, I just want to keep my pants on or something like that. It's gonna turn out to me.
He wants to leave his pajama bottoms on.
Yeah.
And then I like how they did this for the last part of the episode. Therapy time. They both have to go to therapy.
Yeah.
That was good. Oh, Leonard Washington's in the therapy chair. And then he tells, the wife shares something. And all he does is say, bitch, I'll never forgive you for this. So, couple categories. What was your line of the episode? What's your favorite line of the episode?
It's when Leonard Washington was like, she said something about not washing. Oh, he needed to wash the dishes, and he was like, "Bitch, you don't let your outside voice, your inside voice, turn into an outside voice or something.
Yes, that was the one I had to listen for. That was the
Yeah.
one the audience laughed over.
Oh, really? That was the funny. That was the
Subtitles
fun
on to
line.
hear.
And he did it while he had a cigarette in his mouth. Was the funny line.
Yeah, I got some. Okay, well, my favorite line of the episode is when the Leonard Washington is on the toilet and he's reading the magazine entitled White People.
Yeah.
I love that there's a magazine called White People. And he goes, who the hell is Renee Zellweger? Kill me. Kill me.
That's funny.
That's my line. Here's some nominees, though. You got who the hell is Renee Zellweger? You got timeout, when he says timeout to his son.
Mm.
When the wife says, do you want me to light your cigarette for you too? And then Leonard Washington says, better check your tone, girl.
That's it right there. Yeah.
I'm missing a beat. What else do I have? Another entry to best line of the episode. When he throws the kid out into the ghetto, and he says, if you need money, sell rocks. I hear that's what they do. And he drives off.
Yeah, that was funny. And then I think he said, well, go, 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 like G Unit or something like that.
Oh, that was big. Yep. People were saying that in school. That's for sure.
That was funny.
That's my line is who the hell is Renee Zellweger? I love that one. That one is funny. I think I almost was like, hey, who is Renee Zellweger? I kind of know who she is.
Is that why you think it's funny? Is that why you think it's funny?
What's that?
I said, is that why you think it's funny?
Yeah, because I didn't really know I knew who she was, but I was like, yeah, why are we so infatuated with Renee Zellweger? And he said it, I was like, that's right. That is funny. Yeah. So that's definitely my line of the episode. Kills me every time. And the fact that he pronounces it Zellweger. Well, here's my deep Chappelle thoughts. Mm-hmm. Okay. You know, I always tie it into sports somehow. If we give Dave Chappelle a sports figure, who does Dave Chappelle most resemble as a sports figure? And I came up with 3 of them because I can't give them one. I got early Chappelle, Chappelle Show Chappelle, and current Chappelle. Tell me what you think. Okay, early Chappelle, I gave early Kobe Bryant. Mm-hmm. Just raw talent. You can't look away. Likability. Uh-huh. And you're like, keep an eye on this guy. Keep an eye on this guy.
Okay.
Early Chappelle, agree? Disagree?
I looked at it a whole different way. So I'll let you go through your 3.
Okay. Chappelle Show, Chappelle. Mm-hmm. Allen Iverson.
Okay.
Just throwing heat, the best guy on the court, but almost kind of mysterious too. Like we don't know a lot about him. He doesn't give us a lot about himself. And just any one sketch, any one night, he's dropping 55 on you.
Yeah.
So okay. Iverson for Chappelle Show Chappelle. And also, no one really can contain him. No, like Allen Iverson couldn't be coached. And Chappelle he does his own thing. Don't tell him when to show up. Don't tell him what sketches to write. He's doing his own thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And then finally, current Chappelle, LeBron James. He is beyond athlete. He is kind of a cultural icon. When LeBron James speaks, when Dave Chappelle speaks, that becomes canon right there. We all agree no matter what. So I think currently he's LeBron James.
Okay. I looked at it like this. I like Dave Chappelle. I compared him to Allen Iverson for the simple fact of the raw God-given talent to be that good. Because Iverson was like, he was 6 feet. He really didn't have to practice if he didn't want to. Like he was just that fast, that good. He was like dunking on 7 feet people at 6 feet like that. Like, and it wasn't like a crazy work ethic. It was just like, I've just been given this talent, kind of like I'm just Hercules. It's just in me. Like I looked at him like that as far as Iverson, but then I also compared him to Michael Jordan. And I hate to say that because Michael Jordan is not one of my favorite players, but you can't deny the fact that he's Michael Jordan. Like if Michael Jordan's in the league, if like Dave Chappelle's on the stage, he's taking home the championship. You get what I'm saying? I don't care who you got on your
Yeah. If
team.
Michael Jordan is playing your team,
Yes,
you go see your team because of Michael Jordan.
yes, your team is gonna lose. Like I don't care who you have coming up behind him, who you have coming up before him. If he's on the stage, he's gonna be the funniest person. Now, you get what I'm saying? He's gonna take it. So he's kind of like Michael Jordan in that aspect. Like he has the talent, the God given talent of Iverson. But from when I saw Dave Chappelle in '92 on Def Comedy Jam, he was already the funniest, one of the funniest people I saw. Like when you see those people, and when you see them at that point where they're hungry like that, so that their jokes are just that good because they're trying to get someone, they're trying to be that person. You already know like this guy's funny, funny. So he's always been that guy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's always been that guy. He's just gotten seen more by all these things, but he's always been that funny guy. Like that's yeah.
It's interesting. We both went Iverson as
Yeah.
a comparison. This Iverson is just raw talent, no practice, no structure, and then maybe even body type. Allen Iverson was a real skinny
Yeah.
athlete. Dave Chappelle was real skinny as
Yeah.
well. And sort of you think with Allen Iverson, you can't help but go, man, if you just practice, if you just listen to the coach. But then you sort of think, you know what? We were lucky to get whatever we got out of him. There was
Yeah.
no harnessing Allen Iverson.
Yeah, and if I think he would have did anything differently, I don't think it would have been Allen Iverson. You get what I'm saying? I think he had to be that. That's how he got to where he was, being this person. Like he took a team. He had nobody on that 76ers team. He took them to the finals against Shaq and Kobe.
You're saying Theo Ratliff wasn't a contributor?
Exactly. At 6 feet. Let's put that in
Eric
perspective.
Snow, was it going to drop 25?
Let's put that in perspective. Kobe Bryant 6'6". You got Shaquille O'Neal is like 7-something, 300 something pounds, and you on the opposite team, the person they have to depend on is only 6 feet tall and 190 something pounds, but can bring the heat, can bring it, and it's just and you'll look at him like he doesn't put in that work to be like, but it was just in him. He was just born that way.
Just
So
a shooting star was
yeah.
Iverson.
So.
And yeah, it's interesting. Chappelle can be referenced close to Iverson too. It's funny that we both went that route. All right, cultural impact. Where were you when Chappelle Show was airing on Comedy Central in life?
I was in Tallahassee, Florida, attending Florida State University, watching that and the Daily Show almost every.
Oh, really? You're heavy on Comedy Central in those days.
Yeah, I was watching that. I was watching that and the Daily Show. I wanted to do comedy, but that was such a far thing, and I was doing like the little things they had in Tallahassee, Florida, but I'll watch those things, and I will watch Dave Chappelle. I remember he did the year before I got to Florida State. He did their homecoming, and they said it was like the funniest thing ever. So, so yeah, I remember watching it in my room, saying, "This guy's so funny."
Did everybody on campus, were they all watching Chappelle Show? Did everybody know about it?
Oh yeah, college campus, everybody knew about Chappelle Show. We'll watch that type of show. Yeah, especially the people I hung around. They knew about Chappelle Show. Yeah.
At my college, I went to college in New Mexico. I think we had 2 black people and 1 kid that we couldn't figure out what he was. And that was it. Yet everybody watched Chappelle Show. And it was so great because the intro to Chappelle Show comes on with the little guitar, and you would have your television just sort of on in your dorm, and you'd be like, oh, Chappelle Show's on. Time to watch Chappelle Show. I'm staying here for the next 22 minutes.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, I remember I would go to, I want to say it would come on Tuesday nights, but I would go to the fitness center like 6 to 7, and then they had intramural basketball or something. I would play basketball, and then I would go back to my dorm room and watch the Chappelle Show. That was my Tuesday schedule. I'd go to the gym, play and then I'm coming back and I'll catch the episode, and then we'll all say the lines to each other. And then I graduated college a year a year after, and then Chappelle show ended, but they would just rerun the seasons. So you would just keep watching them, repeating the lines to your friends at work and stuff. So they really milked Chappelle show for all it was worth.
Oh yeah, yeah. They did, they did, but that's what happens, you know. So
What do you think the Chappelle show arc or Dave Chappelle arc is? Because it seems like he's coming up, coming up, coming up, hits the stratosphere with Chappelle show, and then he drops out of the atmosphere for years after that. He leaves the country. He stays out of the spotlight. And then it seems in the last 5 or 6 years or so, he's back doing specials. But what do you think his arc is like? Do you see another Chappelle project for him other than stand up?
nah, I think he's at
I
that
don't see him
point.
doing anything that doesn't involve him as the sole creator,
Yeah.
purveyor of it.
But why would he though? Why, like, it's like a season. Like, why would he want to? I mean, those two Netflix specials that he got paid 30 million a piece. Like, and why would he want to go back to a network and have them tell him, "Oh, we want you to do this. I want you to do
Yeah,
that."
what's the desire? Does
Yeah,
he
you want
want
you
to
to
do the
dress up
movie?
like a
I don't
woman.
think
Like,
so.
yeah, they're not. He doesn't. Why? Same thing with Joe Rogan. Like, they're not gonna cast him in a movie. You get what I'm saying? And even if
Mm-hmm.
they did cast him in a movie, why would they want to do it in the
Why
first
would he
place?
want to do it?
Yeah,
Would Chappelle want to write a movie? What if he was like, I got an idea for a movie?
he. I guess he would do that. I can see him doing that.
Yeah, that's the only very, very mainstream thing I could see him doing.
Yeah.
I don't see
Some of these
him.
comedians. No, I was gonna say some of these comedians, they know they're good and they know they're at a level, so they'll do comedy because they want to do it. They don't have anything else to prove, I guess. And then you have some comedians that reach that plateau, but they keep want to put out content, and now they want to move into directing, and now they want to do that because they just want to constantly. They think is, I guess they think it's going to end or something like that, and they just constantly want to do it. But Chappelle's one of those people like, I can stop doing it for 3 years, and I can come back and still be Dave Chappelle. Like, he does hours. So
Mhm. Yeah, he's calling his own shots.
yes,
100%. He's our generation's. I was thinking, what is he? And I was thinking Muhammad Ali. He's our Muhammad Ali, but I don't even think that gives it
mm-hmm.
proper credence to it. He's definitely kind of, if we're to elect a leader of pop culture, I think he's in the conversation.
Yeah, I think so. And you gotta look at
Just
it too.
a voice to the general public in a humorous way. I think he's our pop culture guy, our pop culture commentator guy.
I think so too. It's I try to look at it too from outside of like a comedian's mindset or in comedy and see does people really gravitate towards him? Like, he's one of those people. And I think too, I think they do for the most part. But when you say compare him to one of the greatest, I just still think of it as in comedy, and he's like our generation, I believe, like Richard Pryor. Like,
Mhm.
he's that guy. Like, when you think of stand up, you think of Richard Pryor. Even if you never even seen Richard Pryor's jokes or anything like that, everybody wanted to be him. He's that one guy. So, like, right now in this generation, I think that's Dave Chappelle. He's like that guy. Like, everybody wants to be Dave Chappelle. Like, literally, he made it too. Now he can say whatever he wants, and you can't really cancel him because he's not really doing anything to be
Right.
canceled.
He's beyond cancel.
Yeah,
He's going at his own. There's no speed limit where
yeah,
he's going. He can go fast. He can go slow. It's totally his own call at this
yeah.
point.
And he doesn't have to go at all if he doesn't want to.
Didn't have to go at all. Yeah, you're right. I'll go fast, slow, or if I don't want to go at all,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going to do that either. Also, the fact that there's a bit of a mystique built around him. There's a mystery
Mm-hmm.
to Dave Chappelle. Like, we don't know a lot about his life, his personal life, his family. So there's a little bit of a mystery. So every time he talks, you got to listen because he may go to no stand up for the next 3 years, or he may be doing a lot of stand up. So the mystery portion really, really works for him.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
Final question. Would you ever consider going on trading spouses?
No.
Is there any situation, any money can be offered that you would trade spouses? The original Fox show was you traded spouses for a week. You lived in the
Yeah.
other person's house for a week.
I'm good. I don't want to do any game shows. I definitely don't want to do any of those type of shows.
What if it was with like the royal family, or they lived in a castle, or it was something crazy cool?
No, I don't want to be that guy. Like everybody has that 15 minutes of like fame, and like once you get known for something, it's kind of hard to break that. I don't want it like to be like, oh, you're trying to do comedy, you were on Trading Spouses, like
You
really?
don't
Like,
want to be a trading spouses guy?
no, don't want to be known for something like, because look at the I'm traumatized, dude. Look at what happened to um Jahil White, who plays Steve Urkel. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, and after that, nobody would cast him. You don't think he auditioned for Training Day? I'm sure he did. You know, but can you imagine?
Put him in. Put him in that movie. Training. I would have loved to see him. Yeah,
Could you imagine that? No, like I'm sure he went out for like drug dealer number one or bad guy or super like hero, but it was like no Urkel, like no, I don't want to be because he already seen as that, so I want to be seen as a comedian, E.L. Smith, not guy on season 2 of Trading Spouses. So
this is just telling me that it is time for a Jaleel White comeback. You think about it, there was some great cameos in Chappelle show with Wayne Brady, Paul Mooney,
yeah,
Rogan, Bill Burr. Jaleel White should have made a cameo somewhere, some shape on Chappelle show. Don't you think? That would have been great.
that's true. I mean, if I was just like, I would have tried my best so hard to break that whole stereotype of me, man. I would have been putting up.
Could have done it on Chappelle show. Look what it did for Wayne Brady. He was tough for a second there.
Ah, man.
Chappelle show, Trading Spouses, E.L. Smith. What a time.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you having me.
Who the hell is Renee Zellweger? Thanks, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay, that is the show, folks. Thank you for listening. Thank you, EL, for joining me, running it back. Oh, what a time. We talk about childhood themes, adult things, but what about those early 20s college years? This was happening right in the midst of it. Gosh, I forgot about a lot of that stuff during those years. Chappelle show, what an arc. Deep dive into the Chappelle career, too. I like that. I want to thank everybody who listened to the show, who liked, subscribed, and also the people who listen to my other show, too, Running It Back, me and Omar Carmona, Sunday Night Talk. Have a happy Thanksgiving, all you folks out there. Enjoy it. Really, really enjoy it. I know I will. Thanks for listening. See you next time.